I'm Andrea Grove. I've been a professor here since 2006, which seems like forever ago. I created the Global Studies program with some colleagues on campus, and we actually launched the major in 2016. So for a while we were a minor, but now we're a major, and we've had several graduating classes, so that's very exciting. We have a core where you learn about international relations and global cultures and that kind of thing. But then the upper division courses, you really just choose across these lists of electives. So you can really focus, on what areas you're most interested in. And then two other parts of the major that are really neat are there's a language requirement. So every student has to have an intermediate language proficiency, which is really through like a 202. So if you came in with no language, it would be like 101, 102, 201, 202. Although some students get their language requirements met on their study abroad, which is the other co-requisite. So the language in the study abroad. So every student, even if you're a minor, has to study abroad, which it sounds funny to say it that way, because actually it's a privilege, to get to go overseas. And what's really cool too is that the CSU itself has a huge number of programs all around the world, and you pay the same tuition that you pay here and things like that. So those are some of the aspects there. A lot of students take in terms of the upper division electives, they take the intercultural communication class, which is in our communication department on campus. That's a favorite. Also the world drama class. So that's a drama class in performing arts, but you learn about theater aspects around the world and get to play out the roles of different people. So a lot of students love that one too. We also have a Model United Nations program that has been running for 12 years now, and a lot of students take that. And so that's really fun because we travel to different places around the country and negotiate with other students to address issues that are being studied at the United Nations. Sometimes we have a rare student who's had some kind of international curriculum in high school, but it's very unusual. Like if students have taken anything related to that, it's usually some kind of American government or American civics class, something like that. So most of our students come in really knowing nothing about the rest of the world. And so don't let that deter you. We kind of teach you from the bottom up, and by the time you graduate, you're really ready to go out and do many different things that can change the world. So since we're such a small program, we really don't have the capacity to develop the service learning aspect. We actually don't have any professors except for me, like in global studies, and for me and Dr. Scholl. And so, it's kind of a strange major in that we don't have a whole faculty full of people because those electives are across many different departments. We have students who go on to work for NGOs, non-governmental organizations that deal with, different kinds of issues like immigration and the environment and human rights, things like that. We also have students we have a student right now actually who went to Europe to teach English, and now he's in a master's program in economics in a Portuguese university. So, there's all kinds of things that people end up doing. A couple in law school who are studying, they don't really study international law, but they can specialize in that within law school. So they're doing that. So there's a whole lot of different things that we've seen our small number of graduates doing already. We have a real focus on trying to connect our students to experiences outside. So while I mentioned we don't have internships, we actually tell our students about internship opportunities and grad school fair webinars and things like that. We really do prepare them with our curriculum They have to take courses where they learn writing skills, for example. They have to learn language, and that can be a real bonus depending on where you're trying to go to graduate school. Some actually require 2 years of language, so then they've already got that. So there's a number of different things that we do. Meet your advisors. So meet the program advisors. So we have wonderful advisors in the Advising Center, but every program like Global Studies or Political Science or History, we have faculty who are the advisors. And I'm that person for Global Studies. So I would urge you always to meet your advisors, get to know them so that they can get to know you. You're probably going to be asking them for a letter of recommendation someday. So it's good to, sort of start off on the right foot. I'd also emphasize just, being engaged in class, and go to class, jump in, get engaged. The experience that you have when you just kind of immerse yourself in the learning experience is so much better and more, just so much stronger and more fulfilling than if you're that person in the back row who never says anything. So I would really urge you to get involved in all of your classes. It focuses on 2 things. And the first one involves your study abroad. So everyone has to study abroad before they take capstone in their final semester. So the first part of the class is really talking a lot about culture shock and what it's like when you got there, what it was like when you came back, really debriefing about the study abroad experience. They do a lot of readings in that regard to kind of get them thinking more deeply about different cultures and coming from different parts of the world. And then the second part of the class is kind of a global citizenship piece that we have for the major. It's one of our outcomes. And for that, the students in each year's group pick a topic that they want to raise awareness about on campus. So a global issue to raise awareness about. But we do have a lot of students who go to the Spain program. Well, actually, there's several Spain programs, but there's one in particular where they can get their language requirement finished. So that's a popular one. And then we have one in Florence, Italy, one of the CSU study abroads. It's in Florence, Italy, and they can meet all their language requirements there because they have some intensive classes before they start and then during the year that they're there. We have a club, it's called the International Relations Club, the IRC, and that's a group formed by students to kind of just get together. They talk about different issues that they're interested in, and they usually do some field trips. It's been totally shut down by COVID lately, but they do field trips like to different consulates in the Los Angeles area and other kinds of cultural experiences. One of them is peace studies, and there we learn all about peaceful social movements that have brought change around the world, and that just leaves you very hopeful, so I like that one. And the other one that I'm actually teaching this next fall is about developing countries, and I talk a lot in there about how our lives are actually intertwined more than we realize with the rest of the world, so that's a fun one too.